Hello, next community. Sean, hey, I wanted to show you kind of what I'm trying to do here. One, the motherboard's back. The TurboCube motherboard. Brian was able to uh, figure out what I had suspected. Now I have it's like a 2000X microscope, so I'll be able to look and determine if there's issues with traces and things like that. But it turns out there was just one trace by the battery socket that needed to be reflowed. The leg was not, it was intermittent, and that's why it was causing it to cut in and out. And so in the future, I'll be able to diagnose that. I'll get it set up and show you how that works. So what I'm trying to do here for Sean's system, and I may just go ahead and send it out here, but I found a box of these Seagate Barracudas, new old stock 68-pin wide drives, and I've got an OpenStep 4.2 on a Zulu RP2040 card. And it's been a minute since I've configured one of these because you have to use a 68-pin to 50 adapter and have it on the end of the SCSI cable. And then I have to figure out my jumpers. I've kind of gone to the diagram on the Seagate site. So now I have it set to where it should be recognized because our boot drive is at 0. I suspect these two jumpers, which are termination power from the bus and cable, need to be flipped. So they're going this way. And I do have it spinning up now and holding rotation. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and try it one more time. I may need to do a low-level format, and I would do that on my Intel box I have back here. I'm going to drop in an Adaptec card, and I've got what's called the Hiren CD, which is a freeware CD that has SCSI disk utility tools, including low-level format for this drive. I suspect these are all new old stock drives and have never been formatted. So, that being said, I was just kind of tinkering here on a Friday afternoon. I'm going to give it one more shot and see if it recognizes it, flipping those two jumpers. And then I think I've got his CD-ROM drive set. I've got a new old stock floppy I'm going to drop in there. And then I've got a few other, let's see, I've got a cube and 2 stations. So I've kind of been working on 4 systems, bringing them all up. Matt brought in a whole slew of sound boxes that we have dual compatible. They're the original NeXT ones. So he just came by a little bit ago with some newly recapped boards. So I'm going to test those out as well. And the stacking is just temporarily, he just literally dropped them off. So lots of fun projects going. Bill, your cube is also on deck. I've got that stripped down and rebuilt, so we're going to get that fired up. And Daniel, let's see, I've got your mono turbo and turbo color on deck over there. And I've got the motherboard that Matt just literally brought back. And we're going to see if that one will work. If not, I'll probably have to send that board down to Brian. So lots of things popping here at the Black Hole on a Friday. I've also got the new Quokkas in. And so a Quokka is the smiling marsupial from Australia. And it's a play on the Wombat, which is a both-way ADB to USB adapter for Mac. And so our next Quokka is going to let us hook up. And these are production, so I'm going to be selling them $79.95, which will let us hook up USB keyboards and mice to our NeXT computers, which resolves the issue of having to find the hard-to-find original NeXT keyboards and mice. So that's going to be a solution I'm going to show here. Planning on working through the weekend. It has been chaos for me. So, the latest with my hip surgery, I know. So, my orthopedic doc, Dr. Hug, that's his real name, and Kaiser parted ways conveniently. Can't make it up. I've been doing this for over a year trying to get in, okay? They had me scheduled for February 13th, next Thursday. And they called in a panic last week trying to get me in by Wednesday, which was ridiculous on a Monday afternoon because you need to, one, go on a liquid diet. You need to be off meds, for 2 weeks. The main doctor said that's not going to happen. Even though I heroically made all their appointments on Monday, I was ready to go in Wednesday. And so as a result, I now have no surgeon, no location, and I don't know, man, and no surgery scheduled. And so now I have to find a surgeon that will actually do hip surgery with MRSA. And they were trying to send me to a newbie, which I know he wouldn't have taken it on because it took me 5 orthopedic docs. And so I'm also going to be conferring with Dr. Hug to see if he can just do this for me and maybe work out just a payment plan or something. I don't know. At any rate, I am also trying to heal it on my own through yoga, Pilates, everything I can, the kitchen sink. I mean, this is just frustrating to work on this fractured hip. I know you all have heard it enough. I'm not going to let it slow me down. At any rate, that's where I'm at. Thank you all for your orders and patience once more. And hopefully things will be back to normal. But my guess is now going to a different surgeon that will actually be able to perform the surgery. I'm probably looking 6 months out again, which is frustrating. But as I say, I'm being proactive in just trying to heal this thing myself. I don't know if it's possible. Some days it feels great until it pops out of socket. So there we have it. Happy Friday, Super Bowl Sunday. And I'm going to be working through because, I love this stuff. I really do. It's helping me keep my sanity. Stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. I know, Sean, you wanted an update, so now I've got your board back. It's working great. I've started it several times. I know that dimension board works. I think I'm just going to go ahead and button up. I was going to include this drive as a bonus anyway. I can send that later. Let's get you the system, and then we'll go from there. Bill, I know you're anxious too. Your stuff is coming. Daniel as well. I'm trying to do everything I can to get all this stuff done. Now I have all the boards, all the components here, and I can actually complete all these projects, which I've been doing proactively all week. They're pretty much assembled. In fact, I can walk over and show you guys here what I'm doing. So these are the sound boxes that came in. I got my walker here, and I actually bought a pirate ship wheel for it over there. And I'm going to go visit Sloan's Lake and see the gal that's been expecting me there for a while. Keeps getting delayed. Here is Daniel's mono turbo. It's pretty much good to go. We've got the new old stock power supply. I've got the new old stock floppy here. New RAM. We've got new caps on the board. Well, here's his new old stock floppy already installed. This is for his turbo color back here. And I'm putting these new fans in, these Arctic fans, so nice and quiet. So it's pretty much going to be a new system. I've got my ROM burner working. I've got my labels now, so I can make the latest and greatest ROM chip revisions for everybody's hardware. And I've got the new old stock, batteries coming in. These are actually new. Let's see if there's anything else. I can do the DSP chips as well. And so these are primarily pretty much new systems. I've got some new old stock deck lids I found. These two deck lids are in really good condition, and they have the logos in place. So I'm going to go ahead and send those for Daniel. He's been very, very patient as well. And apologies for all of these delays. I am doing my best just to get through life here. see what else we have going. Here's my ship's wheel for this. Now, I've got these little kits that came in. These are going to hold all my components for my 3D printing. Here's some new old stock covers here. More sound boxes, so I'll be listing those. And then we've got the X tool system I'm going to be setting up. And then let's see, I did have that microscope here somewhere that'll set up as well. It might be under here. Nope. Oh, man. But that's going to be really neat. Here it is, the digital microscope. So that's going to be really nice to take a look at any potential issues. I've got all my screws here for 3D printing, and we're going to get that going. Now, let's see. I do have the second cube here. Yeah, there it is on the floor. And that's Bill's cube. It is good to go as well. So I'm just kind of buttoning up things. I've got my ROM burner over there in the corner. And this is where I'm going to probably do low-level formatting. I know those wide drives are going to be gold. And I also found some 9 gig new old stock drives as well. So, yeah, those are really, really rare in 2025. So that's going to be nice. You know, the RP2040s, you know, the SCSI 2 SDs, they're cool, but the original drives, I mean, in combination with them, I think are going to be just rock solid reliable and kind of a neat hybrid mix. So, stay tuned. More fun stuff from the black hole. I do have some of Brian Archer's sound cards as well. And we're talking about possibly doing a merger with the it's the Quokka and the sound card potentially in the future, which would be kind of neat. Because then we could do USB. We have the sound covered with my custom cables. We're taking care of that whole component. And then I've got a lot of cubes and stations that we can bring back to life because we'll have all of the stuff needed to make them work. Bless this mess as usual, and stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. All right, now let's see here if I can shut this thing down. There we go.